God is crying loudly. Your blessing has arrived, but a powerful lawyer is planning to sue you for everything you own. This is your last chance to listen to me now before the papers are filed. Don't dare to skip God. There is something trembling in the spirit, something that cannot wait another hour, another day, or even another moment. This is a holy interruption in the noise of life, a divine message flowing straight into your heart, because God is not whispering anymore. God is crying loudly. He is weeping because your blessing has already arrived, but you are under attack from a force that wants to take everything from you before you even get to hold what's yours. The enemy has disguised himself in legal garments, carrying words, threats, accusations that sound official, final, intimidating. And heaven is raising its voice not in anger, but in pleading love. Your blessing is here, but so is the adversary. And God is crying out, not with fear, but with a fierce love that refuses to stay silent while you are targeted. You must stay with this till the very end, because this is not just a word, it is a lifeline stretched from heaven to your soul. Please, take a second now and comment Amen to affirm this truth. God is not silent in your storm. He is not watching from afar. He is not passive in your pain. He is crying loudly, and his voice is echoing across the heavens to stop you from falling into a trap that looks like it is wrapped in legal structure but is rooted in spiritual sabotage. You are not just a person on this earth. You are chosen, handpicked, and covered in the favor of a living God who sees everything that is planned against you and is calling you to open your eyes, lift your ears, and receive the full weight of what he is speaking over your life right now. The blessing that has arrived is not just a momentary reward. It is the breakthrough you prayed for, the door you fasted for, the healing you wept for, the change you waited on. It is not imaginary. It is not coming soon. It is already at your door. But what you did not know is that just as heaven has moved in your favor, there has been a movement against you in the shadows, a plan rising to strip you of the very thing God already declared was yours. This is not just about money or things. This is about your name, your peace, your identity, your stability, your household. This is about spiritual legal warfare, where the enemy has gathered evidence from your past, your failures, your mistakes, your pain, and is trying to file papers in the spirit to take what God has said belongs to you. God is crying loudly because he sees the trap being set before you see the threat. He is crying because his heart is not of a distant judge, but of a loving father who won't allow you to lose what he bled for. This is your last chance to hear before the case is brought forward. Not because it's too late, but because this is the moment where you must stand, decide, and align with what God is declaring, not what the enemy is accusing. The enemy is not just fighting your now, he's fighting your legacy. But the voice of God is stronger than any case against you. If you feel anything stirring inside your chest right now, don't ignore it. This is not emotion. This is the Spirit of the Lord calling you by name. If this word feels like it was written with your life in mind, it's because it was. The Holy Spirit is not just delivering encouragement. He is opening your eyes to something urgent. God is crying loudly not to frighten you, but to shake you awake with love so great it cannot stay quiet while your blessing is under threat. If you believe this speaks to you, please take a moment and like this video now. It is not about a number or a goal. It is a public declaration that you agree with heaven, that you receive what is yours, and that you are not going to stand silent while the enemy tries to steal it. God is not crying because he is powerless. God is crying because he is protective. He is crying because this is the moment where he is intervening with warning before intervention must become correction. He is giving you this word as a shelter, as a sword, and as a shield. You have not been forgotten. You are not about to lose everything. You are not about to go backward. But you must choose not to skip what heaven is screaming for you to hear. Do not dare to ignore God when He is fighting for your very soul, for your blessing, for your promise, and for your peace. This is the season where what is yours is coming into the light, but so is everything that is against you. Do not be afraid. What God gives, no man and no devil can take. What He seals, no voice can undo. What He declares, no lawyer in the courts of men or hell can overturn. You are not standing on the edge of loss, you are standing on the edge of justice. But you must listen, you must trust, you must align your faith with what He is speaking now. Every battle you've walked through was not random. Every tear you've cried was not wasted. Every sleepless night had heaven's eyes upon it. And now that your blessing has arrived, the enemy has launched his last desperate attack, and God is rising to shout into your soul the one thing you must never forget: this blessing is yours. But if you do not guard it, if you do not stand in faith, if you do not hear this voice now, it will be contested. Not because God will allow it to be taken, but because you must take your stand with Him before the papers are filed in spirit. The secret ritual they never wanted public is finally out. A 7-second brain technique, backed by leaked CIA data and 4 neuroscience labs, is helping families erase debt and attract money on autopilot. But this miracle won't stay public long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's gone forever. There is a power trying to convince you that you're not worthy, that you've done too much wrong, that your past will come back and collect everything God gave you. But those are lies. They are dressed in suits, words, memories, and fear. But the truth is louder. And it comes from the cry of a holy God who is weeping, not because He doubts your future, but because He sees the urgency in your now. You must not skip this. You must not brush this off. You must not delay your response to what God is speaking. God's cry is holy. His cry is fire. His cry is mercy. He is still speaking because there is still time. But the clock is real, and the battle is closer than it seems. You will not lose this blessing. You will not be defeated. You are not the victim of this case. You are the victor standing under divine protection. And if you believe that right now, comment 1111 to say it is yours in Jesus' name. God's own hand, through every season of delay and doubt, the time of birthing is now. But just as the promise is crowning, there is a counterfeit force gathering to press a false claim over what heaven has assigned to your life. This is not a coincidence. This is spiritual warfare wrapped in earthly language. God is still crying loudly because too many are walking through this hour unaware of what's trying to form against them. The threat is not what it looks like on the surface. It is not just about finances, relationships, contracts, or positions. The threat is deeper, older, darker. It is about silencing your voice, stealing your destiny, and making you believe that God has forgotten the very thing He promised you. But He has not forgotten. He never forgets. And right now, He is shouting louder than every lie, every delay, every deception that has tried to hold you hostage. This is not just any blessing. This is the kind of blessing that rewrites your story, the kind that shifts your bloodline, the kind that becomes a testimony not just for your life, but for generations that follow. And that's why the attack is so sharp, so sudden, so confusing. It is because you are standing right in front of your inheritance, and the enemy knows he cannot stop it, so instead, he is trying to scare you out of it. He is trying to sue you in the spirit, trying to use your past as evidence, your fears as weakness, your failures as permission to disqualify you. But the judge of all creation has already ruled in your favor, and the cry of God is the declaration of that verdict over your life. The enemy has no power to file anything unless you give him the signature of your silence. Do not be silent. Do not back down. Do not retreat into doubt. You have divine rights written in the blood of the Lamb, sealed in the courts of heaven, and your blessing cannot be revoked by human hands or hell's lies. But this is your last chance to hear clearly before the pressure increases. Not because God will abandon you, but because heaven wants you armed with truth before the trial ever begins. Please, if this word is stirring anything in your soul, if you feel like you're being pulled into something greater than what you can see, then stop scrolling and stay planted right here. The cry of God is a call to stay awake in the Spirit, because the enemy is hoping you'll be distracted just long enough to miss what God is about to release fully. But you will not miss it. You will not be fooled. You are not alone, and you are not too late. There are angels surrounding what belongs to you. There are divine forces fighting where you cannot see. God has already cancelled every demonic assignment that tried to steal, delay, and destroy what has been prepared for your life. But you must stay in position, stay in prayer, stay in worship, stay in faith. You may feel tired, but this is not the time to sit down. This is the hour to rise up. This is the hour to declare that no weapon formed against your blessing will prosper. God is crying not because he's unsure, but because he knows how high the stakes are. And in his mercy, he is speaking louder now so you will not fall silent when your voice is needed most. You are not just an observer in your story, you are a warrior chosen for this time. You are a carrier of a promise so heavy that hell has taken notice. But the weight of your warfare is nothing compared to the weight of his glory that is about to pour over your life. Comment 222 if you trust this and are holding on to God's promise through every battle. What is trying to sue you for everything you own is not just physical loss, it is a spiritual robbery. The enemy wants your joy, he wants your peace, he wants your confidence, your purpose, your praise. He wants you to walk around unsure, second-guessing yourself, questioning whether God is even still speaking to you. But I want you to hear this as clearly as the beating of your heart. God is still speaking, still covering you, still moving on your behalf. He is not finished, and he will not let your blessing be buried beneath legal lies. You are not defenseless. The cross has already defended you. The blood has already paid for what the enemy wants to take. You are not under judgment, you are under grace. And that grace is not weak, it is not passive, it is not fragile. That grace is a fortress, a fire, a roar that shakes every demonic voice trying to shout over your life. And God is not done crying over you until you rise, until you believe, until you reclaim what has been under attack. Is this leaked CIA ritual the missing key to your financial breakthrough? A once hidden brain ritual is spreading fast. This strange 7-second method, confirmed by elite neuroscience labs, activates your brain's wealth magnet. The government may shut this down. If you're seeing this, you are God's chosen child. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. Every sleepless night has been counted. Every moment you felt abandoned has been seen. Every loss has been recorded. And now, heaven is responding. This blessing was not randomly released. It was chosen for you before time began. But just like the Israelites had to claim the land God already gave them, you must stand and claim what is already yours. This is not a battle for something you don't have. This is a battle to keep what is already in your spiritual hands. Do not be afraid of the voice threatening to take it. That voice is hollow. That threat is powerless. God has surrounded you. He has shielded your home, your heart, your future. He is crying loudly because he refuses to let the enemy confuse you into surrendering what has already been stamped with your name in the book of life. You will not lose. You will not forfeit. You are not going backwards. It may look like chaos. It may feel like confusion, but underneath every shaking is a deeper truth. Your blessing is trying to settle into your life, and the weight of it is making the ground beneath your feet shift. The louder the enemy tries to accuse you, the louder God will cry out in mercy, in power, in divine authority that says you will not be moved from your rightful place. You see, what is coming against you is not just attacking your present, it is reaching into your past to try to poison your future. But that is exactly why God is intervening in this moment with urgency and fire. He is not whispering anymore. He is crying loudly because he sees what's at stake if you let go now. He sees the domino of miracles lined up behind this one blessing, and he knows that this is not the time to second-guess your worth or shrink back in fear. You have fought too long. You have endured too much. And heaven is surrounding you like a wall of flame, not to consume you, but to keep the darkness from touching what is holy in you. Your blessing has already crossed the threshold into your life. It's not waiting to be approved. It has been delivered, sealed, and declared. But it is fragile only in one way: it requires your agreement. The enemy knows he cannot remove what God has given, so he is trying to convince you to forfeit it with your own doubt. That is why he has sent voices that sound like reason, but are rooted in fear. That is why he is stirring situations that mimic legal threats, deadlines, and loss. He wants you to believe that you have no defense. But God is not only your defender, he is your father, your protector, your shelter, and your promise keeper. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. You are not under attack because you failed. You are under attack because you succeeded in the Spirit. You broke chains your family carried for years. You prayed when you were drowning. You worshipped when your heart was breaking. And now the blessing has come, but so has the resistance, and God is standing in between both, crying loudly so you do not mistake this pressure for failure. This pressure is proof that something powerful has landed in your life, and you are being called to hold on with a grip that hell cannot loosen. Please, if this word is pulling something deep inside you, if you know in your heart this is not just coincidence, but confirmation, then stop for a moment and comment 333 to declare your faith right now. This cry from heaven is not the cry of despair. It is the cry of deliverance. It is the sound of a father who has decided that your blessing will not be touched, your purpose will not be interrupted, and your name will not be erased. God has already ruled in your favor, but he is calling you to show up not just in church, not just in prayer, but in the way you carry yourself through this trial. Walk like it is already yours. Stand like you have already won. Speak like no one can take what heaven has released. Do not underestimate what you are carrying. You are not just carrying potential, you are carrying fulfillment. You are walking with answers, not just hope. And this is why you must keep listening, because what comes next will explain why you felt like everything was falling apart right before your breakthrough began. God is strategic, and he allows the exposure before elevation. He allows the pressure before promotion. The enemy thought you were weak because you were weary. But God sees strength in you that even you forgot you had. There are some things trying to re-enter your life right now, old patterns, familiar doubts, strange anxieties, and they are not coincidences. They are assignments meant to drain your spirit so you won't be strong enough to stand firm when the fullness of your blessing reaches you. But you are not going to break. You are not going to retreat. You are going to rise, and not because you feel ready, but because God is pouring out strength into the parts of you that ran dry while you were waiting. This moment matters more than you think. The blessing is not just for today. It is a door to decades of change. It is a key to something eternal, and that is why the enemy has raised the volume of his accusations. But God has raised his voice higher. His cry is the sound of justice, thundering through every lie that's been spoken over your life. It is the roar of truth washing over the false evidence the enemy is trying to bring into your mind. You are not guilty. You are not cursed. You are not broken beyond repair. You are blessed, protected, covered, called, and chosen. There are people watching you right now, some hoping you will rise, others waiting for you to fall. But God is not watching. God is working. And even when you feel nothing changing, He is shifting things behind the scenes in such a powerful way that when it all unfolds, even your enemies will have no choice but to see that this was not luck, not survival, but divine favor surrounding your life. What if 7 seconds is all it takes to flip your financial fate? A shocking CIA leak just exposed a hidden brain ritual helping ordinary people erase debt and pull in massive wealth. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning struggle into luxury fast. But this page could be erased any moment. Click the link in the first comment now before it's gone forever. You are not at the mercy of what people think, what systems say, or what history tried to label you as. You are at the mercy of God, and His mercy is not weak, it is fierce, it is alive. It is your defense. It is your rescue. God is crying loudly because He does not want you to move an inch out of fear. He wants you to stay rooted in faith, even if you are trembling, even if your knees are shaking, even if your voice feels small. Stand in faith, stand in agreement, stand in truth. Every part of your life that the enemy tried to drag through the mud is being restored. Every area of shame is being washed. Every scar is being turned into a testimony. And the legal threats in the spirit, those accusations of unworthiness, of failure, of regret, are being silenced by the blood of Jesus. You do not owe the enemy any more answers. You do not need to defend your past. You only need to hold your ground, because the victory has already been written in heaven's book. This is the last stretch before the release settles, and that's why the resistance has grown stronger, the warfare more intense, and the confusion more frequent. But hear this in your spirit today: your blessing is not leaving you. It is not slipping away. It is being secured. Heaven's cry is not one of desperation. It is the sound of holy intervention. It is the voice of your Creator stepping into the courtroom of your life and shutting down every false witness, every demonic accusation, every whisper of doubt that tried to pull you away from what is rightfully yours. What you are about to step into cannot be touched by legal threats or spiritual warfare when you stand under the authority of God. You were not called to fight this alone. You were never meant to carry the weight of the blessing and the battle at the same time without help. That's why God is crying loudly. His cry is a covering, a comfort, a shield around your destiny. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not disqualified. The enemy wants you to believe that your past sins, your hidden shame, your silent struggles are enough to cost you everything. But God already paid for that debt. The blood of Jesus is not a theory, it is your legal protection. It is your divine contract of mercy. And what God has written in His covenant over your life is not voided by failure, it is magnified by grace. The attack may be loud, but grace is louder. The pain may have been deep, but healing is deeper. And the cry of God is the evidence that He is not willing to let the enemy rewrite your story. If this word is anchoring something deep in your heart, if you feel a stirring you cannot explain, then take a moment and comment 555 right now to claim divine grace and favor over your life. This moment is sacred, not because you earned it, but because God has appointed it. Everything the enemy tried to delay is being accelerated. Everything you thought was lost is being brought back. Not in the way you imagined, but in the way only heaven could orchestrate. And sometimes, the reason the battle seems so personal is because the blessing is that specific. God is not releasing a generic answer. He is releasing a tailor-made miracle, one that knows your name, one that knows your needs, one that meets you in the exact place of your waiting and wraps itself around your future with power and peace. The lawyer that has risen up in the spirit is a shadow, a representation of how the enemy tries to twist truth into accusations, turn your identity into insecurity, and mask lies as facts. But there is one greater than any lawyer, greater than any accuser. Jesus is your advocate. And where the enemy points at your mistakes, Jesus points to his blood. Where the enemy lists your failures, Jesus lifts his hands and shows the marks of your redemption. And that courtroom becomes silent. Because heaven has ruled, it is finished, you are free. You will not be stripped of your promise. You will not be emptied by deception. You will not be dragged into a fight that God has already won. But you must remain awake. You must continue listening. You must not turn away in this moment. Because while your blessing is secure, your awareness must stay sharp. You are walking through the final moments of a spiritual transition, and every step you take in obedience is a strike against the darkness that wanted you to sleep through your breakthrough. Do not entertain voices that are trying to plant fear. Do not let the familiar voices of your past pull you back into places you've outgrown. Do not revisit doors that God has already closed. The enemy is hoping you will lose focus, hoping you will start negotiating with doubt, hoping you will give up because of fatigue. But this is not the time to fold. This is the time to fight with your faith. And when your strength fails, let God's cry remind you that He is still fighting for you. Heaven has not left your side. Every angel assigned to your life is still standing, still guarding, still waiting for the command of the Lord to push back what's been pressing in. You are not surrounded by defeat. You are surrounded by divine protection. Even now, while you sit in silence, while your hands feel weak, while your mind feels numb, the Spirit of God is hovering over you like a fire that will not be put out. There is healing coming that will restore more than what you lost. There is favor rising that will carry you into rooms you never thought you would enter. There is wisdom being poured into your mind to prepare you for decisions you will need to make in the days ahead. And there is a peace that is being planted so deeply in your soul that not even the loudest storm will be able to uproot it. This is not just about getting through today. This is about stepping into what God prepared before you were born. Your blessing is not random, it is legacy. It is the kind of blessing that breaks curses, the kind that shifts atmospheres, the kind that announces to hell that you survived everything it sent, and now you are rising into the place it tried to keep you out of. People are asking why money is suddenly flowing into random lives. A leaked CIA discovery reveals a 7-second brain ritual that quietly rewires your mind for wealth. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, people are wiping out debt and stepping into luxury with ease. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. And so, God cries. He cries not because He is overwhelmed, but because He is overwhelmingly for you. His cry is not of panic. It is the cry of promise. It is the sound of a father who refuses to let his child step into a trap when he has already cleared the path. Listen to that cry. Let it anchor you. Let it hold you. Let it carry you forward. There is a stillness coming after this shaking, a silence not of fear but of fulfillment. And when it comes, you will understand why the cry had to come first. You will see how God was protecting what you couldn't yet understand. You will know that His voice was not trying to alarm you, but to align you. The cry of God is not fading. It is still resounding, and it's being echoed through every part of your spirit, so you cannot miss what is being declared over your life right now. The urgency is not meant to cause fear, it is meant to open your eyes. You are being ushered into a divine hour, where the heavens are parting, the blessing is settling, and the final resistance is being confronted head-on. What you are feeling is not just pressure, it is the weight of transition. It is the spiritual vibration of chains breaking and gates opening. You are not about to lose everything. You are about to gain more than you imagined. But before the release, the resistance always tries one last time. The lawyer that rises in this moment is not just about earthly language, it is the image of the adversary trying to build a case against you using everything you've been through. Every flaw, every sin, every delay, every weakness, it's all being gathered not to hold you accountable, but to scare you into silence. But God is louder. His cry breaks through every argument. His mercy silences every accusation. His love overrides every lie. This is your last chance to tune your heart to the truth and block out the noise. The blessing has already been dispatched, but you must protect its landing. It is not about working harder, praying longer, or trying to be perfect. It's about staying aware, staying aligned, and staying in the presence of the one who cries over you, not with pity but with passion. His voice is not a warning of punishment, it's a call to positioning. He wants you under his covering when the shaking comes. He wants your eyes locked on him when the threats rise. He wants your hands open to receive, not clenched in fear. What the enemy is doing now is nothing new. He did it to Job, he did it to Joseph, he did it to David, he even tried it with Jesus. He comes when the promise is close. He accuses when the breakthrough is near. He tries to file a case just before the crown is placed. But every time, God has the final word. And today that word is being spoken again over you. Not because you're about to fall, but because you're about to rise higher than you ever have. This is why the cry has not stopped, because many will miss this if they keep walking in distraction. Many will forfeit this if they keep trying to fight spiritual battles with fleshly responses. Many will walk away from the very thing they've been waiting for, all because the attack came dressed as paperwork, pressure, and panic. But you will not miss it. You will not surrender what is sacred. You will not bow to fear. Take a breath and comment, 1, 2, 1, 2, if you believe that divine order is being restored in your life. There is something holy hovering over your atmosphere, something beyond explanation, something beyond your understanding. But it's real, it's present, and it's powerful. What God is releasing now has been sealed since before you were born. And while the enemy is trying to make it look like everything is falling apart, what's actually happening is the old structures are being torn down so the new can rise. That lawyer in the spirit is not just coming for your possessions, he is trying to confuse your perception. He wants you to believe that you are alone, that you are defenseless, that God is far away and not answering. But nothing could be further from the truth. God is closer now than ever. His cry is proof. His spirit is moving around you and within you like fire and wind, clearing every path, cutting down every false claim, destroying every lie that dared to approach the promise on your life. What the enemy didn't realize is that every time he tried to take something from you, God was storing something greater in the spirit. Every tear you cried, every night you stayed up, every moment you questioned your worth, God saw all of it, and none of it was wasted. It became oil, it became strength, it became evidence in your favor. The very things meant to break you became proof of your endurance, and heaven has used every piece of it to justify the blessing that has now come. This is not imagination. This is manifestation. What you've felt, what you've sensed, what you've dreamed, it is here. but you must walk with the awareness that not everything around you will celebrate it. Some things will try to challenge it. Some people will suddenly shift. Some circumstances may look like they're turning the wrong way. Don't be fooled. Don't be shaken. God is allowing some things to be exposed now so that nothing contaminated enters the next season with you. You are being separated, not from love, not from people, but from distractions, from cycles, from anything that would slow down what God is accelerating. The cry is loud because the time is short. This moment cannot be wasted. This opportunity cannot be missed. And heaven is leaning in, not to observe but to assist. Angels are being dispatched. Divine wisdom is being downloaded. Spiritual clarity is being sharpened. And you are not walking into this blessing alone. You are being carried by grace, carried by mercy, carried by promises that are older than time. What God spoke over you is still alive. It has not expired. It has not diminished. In fact, it has only grown stronger while you've waited. And now it is moving, breathing, entering your life like a wind you cannot stop. Why is everyone rushing to this 7-second brain ritual? Leaked CIA files exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the door to wealth fast. Verified by 4 top neuroscience labs, it's turning financial stress into abundance almost overnight. But this secret won't stay public for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it's deleted forever. You do not need to explain this to anyone. You do not need to prove yourself. The blessing will speak for itself. The breakthrough will reveal itself. And those who doubted you, those who counted you out, those who walked away, they will see that you were never alone, never forgotten, never forsaken. The cry of God is your confirmation. It is the sound of love refusing to let you walk into battle unaware. It is the voice of the Father making sure you know He is with you, for you, and ahead of you. Keep listening. You are only just beginning to understand the depth of what's being released. Let every word wash over you like rain after a long drought. Let it fill the empty spaces. Let it heal the wounded parts. Let it remind you you are still chosen, still protected, still rising. This is not a moment to look back. This is not the time to question if you're still on the right path. You are not wandering. You are walking in alignment with something far greater than your understanding, and the Spirit of the Lord is fighting for you with a love so strong it will not let you fall into the enemy's trap. The legal threat against you in the Spirit is not just an attack. It is an assignment to rob you of the inheritance that was given to you before you even knew how to ask for it. It comes with a voice that sounds convincing, logical, almost reasonable. But the motive behind it is spiritual theft. It wants to strip you of your joy, your peace, your direction, your confidence in what God said. That voice has been trying to whisper things like, "You're not ready, you're too flawed, you'll lose it again, it won't last." But the cry of God is not giving space for those lies anymore. His voice is louder than fear, deeper than anxiety, stronger than confusion. Please take a moment now and comment 777 if you believe the perfect hand of God is completing something miraculous in your life. You are not just under spiritual attack because you're vulnerable. You are under attack because you are carrying a promise that threatens darkness. The enemy is terrified of what you are about to become. You are the fulfillment of prayers your ancestors cried. You are the answer to pain that ran through generations. You are the new thing that the Lord is doing. And your blessing is not just about your personal breakthrough, it is a divine ripple that will affect every life you touch. There is nothing casual about what God is doing in your life. His timing has been exact, His protection has been precise. Even when it felt like everything was falling apart, God was stitching together a covering so strong that nothing formed against you could prosper. And now that your blessing has arrived, it's time to guard it with praise, protect it with faith, and walk in it with holy boldness. This is not the time to entertain fear. This is the time to take authority. You are not a beggar at heaven's door. You are a child of the King, and every promise with your name on it is guarded by His word. The enemy has studied your patterns, your emotions, your pain. He knows what triggers your doubt. He knows how to provoke your old thoughts. That's why the attack comes not with fire, but with questions, with reminders of failure, with legalistic accusations meant to keep you silent. But God is answering with a cry that breaks every accusation into pieces. His cry is thunder in the spirit, canceling every false claim. He is reminding you that you are not standing trial, you have already been set free. And that freedom is the key to what's next. You cannot walk into this blessing with chains still clinging to your heart. You cannot walk into a season of harvest with the language of lack still on your lips. God is calling you to shift how you see yourself. Stop identifying with the struggle and start aligning with the victory. Stop seeing yourself as someone who's barely surviving and begin to see what God sees: an heir, a warrior, a vessel of divine purpose. This blessing was not sent to someone else, it has your name on it. What's happening right now in the spirit is a battle of voices. The enemy is trying to speak louder through circumstances, through people, through fear. But God's voice is drowning it all out with the sound of truth. He is saying, I have not changed my mind about you. I have not removed my hand from your life. I have not closed the door. I have opened it, and no man can shut it. If you can hear that voice and hold it close, no attack can stand against you. This is a sacred war for your attention. The blessing is already here. The legal threat is not real power, it's an illusion trying to distract you from what is already yours. You don't need to panic, you need to focus. Stay grounded in the Word, stay rooted in worship. Keep your heart tender. Don't let bitterness back in. Don't let old wounds reopen. This blessing needs your peace, not your panic. It needs your faith, not your frustration. Do not underestimate the weight of the cry of God. It is the cry of divine defense. The same way a mother rushes to her child when danger is near, God is crying over you because something holy must be protected. You are not just receiving a miracle. You are becoming one. Every part of your life is being transformed, and transformation always comes with tension. But this is a good tension. It means the old is being pulled off of you, and the new is being fitted for you. Let every part of you begin to rise with faith again. The part that stopped believing, the part that settled, the part that gave up. Let those parts live again. Let them breathe again. The cry of God is also the breath of life. He is speaking life into what the enemy said was dead. He is restoring what looked too far gone. He is reviving dreams that sat untouched for years. And all of it is happening now, in this moment, because you stayed, because you listened, because you didn't walk away when it got dark. Is this the same CIA brain ritual changing lives in seconds? A new leak reveals a powerful 7-second technique developed under secret research. Backed by neuroscience, people are moving from debt to wealth and luxury faster than believed possible. But this secret may be deleted soon. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. There is more to come. And what's ahead is not like what's behind. You are stepping into days of divine recovery. Days where everything the enemy tried to take will be returned with interest. Days where the silence in your spirit will be replaced with songs of deliverance. Days where your name will be mentioned in rooms you've never entered, because God is making a way that no one else saw. This is not a season to explain yourself. This is a season to expect the supernatural. You don't need permission from people to walk into what God has promised. The only permission you need is from heaven. And you already have it. Walk in it, live in it, rest in it. It carries weight, urgency, and unwavering love. And the reason his voice has not quieted is because you are still in the middle of a spiritual battle that has yet to be fully seen with your eyes, but it has been unfolding in the unseen places for a long time. The blessing is here, and it is more than you thought it would be. But so is the resistance, and the one who rises against you isn't coming with a sword, but with words, with threats, with legal language meant to intimidate your soul. The spiritual lawyer that has come forth in this moment is not just attacking your peace. He is trying to convince heaven that you do not deserve what God has already signed off on. He is speaking in the spirit, gathering shadows from your past, fragments from your weakest moments, trying to present a case that says you are not worthy of holding on to what God has delivered. But let your spirit rest in this truth: God has already ruled in your favor. He has not only approved the blessing, he has wrapped it in his protection. That cry, that loud, unrelenting cry, is God standing in the courtroom of your life and saying to every demon, every doubt, every voice, "This one is mine, this one is covered. This one will not be touched." And even if you feel shaken, even if the atmosphere around you feels tense and unfamiliar, know that your Father's voice is drowning out every threat with a love that roars through the heavens. If this word is touching a deep place inside of you, and you can feel God confirming it even now, comment 999 to mark the birthing of something new in your life. You are not being called into battle alone. You are being called into alignment. There is a sacred precision to what God is doing, and he needs your attention, not because he requires your strength, but because he longs for your trust. He is not asking you to fix it. He is asking you to stay close, to stay soft, to stay steady in your faith. The attacks may feel personal, but they are not proof of God's absence. They are proof of heaven's involvement. The enemy only fights what threatens his kingdom. And right now, your life is shaking the gates of hell. That legal threat, that strategy formed against you, is not going to succeed. God is allowing you to hear the cry so you will not fear the process. He is teaching you how to remain firm while the winds blow, how to stand still while the pressure rises, how to keep your gaze fixed even when your surroundings look like collapse. This is not your collapse. This is your construction. This is God building something eternal within you, and though it feels like shaking, it is actually the foundation being strengthened beneath your feet. You are not a victim. You are not forgotten. You are not stuck. You are in motion, and God is directing every step, even the ones that don't make sense to you right now. There is a reason for every delay, a purpose behind every no, and divine strategy even in every silence. What God is preparing for you is not temporary comfort, it is eternal positioning. It is kingdom purpose. And this blessing is not just for your relief, it is for your legacy. Let the lawyer argue, let the accusations come, let the spiritual resistance rise. Because God has not only seen it coming, he has already sent his answer. You are being defended by the voice of the Most High, and his voice carries more power than any case brought against you. Every lie will collapse under the weight of his truth. Every fear will bow at the sound of his presence. Every false word spoken against you is being overturned right now. You don't need to defend your name. God is defending your future. You don't need to justify your worth. The cross already declared it. You don't need to prove you've changed. God sees your heart, and that's enough. Your part in this battle is not to scream back at the storm, but to stand still in the shadow of his wings and let him cry over you with power. There is a fresh covering coming over your life. It's invisible to the eyes of people, but it's unmistakable in the spirit. That covering is your assurance that the case against you will not succeed, that you will not lose what God has released, that you will not walk into this next season limping with fear, but dancing in freedom. It doesn't matter how late it feels, how dark the hour seems, how loud the enemy gets, your blessing is secure. Every delay was divine. Every detour was protective. Every detour, every no, every wait, it all brought you here, to this precise moment. And now the Lord is calling you to hold the line. Do not give in. Do not get weary. You are on the edge of the full release. The enemy knows it. That's why the pressure has increased. But pressure is the final sign before the breakthrough. Do not interpret the chaos as God's absence. Interpret it as heaven's preparation. The miracle is not on the way, it is already in your life. It is finding its way through the final layer of warfare. That's why you must hold on. Because what's coming next will silence the doubts, break the patterns, end the torment, and leave no trace of what tried to steal from you. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual reality. You are being fought over because of the weight of your calling, but heaven is not anxious. Heaven is not worried. God is not pacing the floor. He is seated on the throne, and his cry is full of peace and power. It is the cry that comes before the shout of victory. It is the cry that says, I am not done with you. It is the cry that says, I will not let them win. Do you know why people keep whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual? A leaked brainwave method is spreading quietly and changing financial realities worldwide. Proven by neuroscience, this simple ritual attracts money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're so lucky. Click the link in the comments before it's taken down. So be still, be faithful, be aware, because what's being completed now is going to mark you forever. And when the cry turns into celebration, you will look back and know that God never left your side, not for a second. You will remember that this was the hour heaven cried out, the loudest, not because it was afraid, but because it refused to let you lose what was already yours. It is the cry of a father who knows what has been hidden from your eyes. It is the voice of the Almighty reaching through the noise and distraction, trying to save you from a mistake you cannot afford to make. You are standing at the intersection of answered prayer and spiritual danger, and God is crying loudly because he sees both. The blessing that has arrived is not light, it is weighty, it is heaven-sent. It carries authority, provision, answers, healing, restoration, and generational change. But it also draws attention in the spirit. Not everyone, and not everything, celebrates what has been released over your life. You are not being paranoid. You are not imagining it. There is resistance rising, not because of something you've done wrong, but because of what has now been made right. You've crossed into territory that hell thought you would never reach. And so, the cry of God grows louder, not to scare you, but to surround you with the truth. This is where many turn around. This is where people doubt what they prayed for. This is where discouragement can convince even the strong to give up. But not you. You are still here. You are still standing. You are still listening. And that's why heaven has not stopped speaking. The Lord is protecting something bigger than you can comprehend. You didn't just receive a gift, you received a responsibility. The spiritual lawsuit coming against you is an attempt to strip you of what is already settled. But God has never lost a case, and he is not about to start now. Take a moment right now and comment 1010 if you believe this is the moment God restores what you thought was gone forever. There's been a battle over your mind. Confusion has tried to set in like fog on a valley. Thoughts that used to be clear are now blurry. Emotions you thought you had mastered have resurfaced. This is not weakness, this is warfare. This is what happens when the enemy tries to disrupt your clarity, so you misinterpret your own blessing. But God is clearing that fog with every word. His cry is pushing back the cloud. He is pouring wisdom into your spirit, not the kind that comes from books or people, but the kind that drops from heaven like rain. What tried to accuse you has no real claim. It only has words, and words only have power when you agree with them. The enemy is hoping you will repeat his accusations, that you will say out loud what he's been whispering in your mind. But today, heaven is blocking that agreement. The cry of God is breaking that cycle. You will no longer give voice to fear. You will speak only what God speaks. You will declare only what God has promised. Your words are weapons now, and they are aligned with truth. Do not look at what is happening around you to determine what God is doing in you. The enemy often creates chaos in the atmosphere to confuse your discernment. But what God is doing is deeper. It is quiet, strong, sure. It may not be loud, but it is lasting. He is setting things in order under the surface, and in just a moment, what has been hidden will be revealed. The cry of God will shift into the shout of victory, and you will see the full picture. But right now the cry is still present because you are still in the final hour of testing. This is when the pressure gets intense. This is when your thoughts get loud. This is when the weight of waiting tries to crush your hope. But do not faint. Do not surrender. You are closer than you think. The ground is about to break open beneath your feet, not to swallow you, but to spring up with what has been planted long ago. The seeds of obedience, of faith, of patience, of hidden service, they are rising now. And while the enemy is trying to distract you with threats and accusations, God is lifting you above the noise. He is placing you in the secret place, in the shelter of his voice. He is crying loudly because he refuses to let you fight this alone. You are not alone in your house. You are not alone in your pain. You are not alone in your wandering. Heaven is not only watching, it is working. You are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, angels on assignment, divine protection covering you from front to back. And every step you take in faith right now is dismantling the strategy of the enemy. You are not walking toward a breakdown, you are walking toward breakthrough. And the lawyer that tried to sue you in the spirit is being silenced by the eternal voice of God. There is no courtroom where the blood of Jesus cannot speak louder than your shame. There is no record the enemy can present that has not already been washed by grace. You are not on trial, you are on track. The tears you cried last night were seen, the confusion you felt today was known. And the cry that still surrounds your spirit is God's way of making sure you do not lose heart before the promise settles completely into your life. You are not unworthy. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. What has your name on it will not pass you by. What has been spoken over you will not return void. You will see it. You will hold it. You will live in it. Because God is not crying for what he might do. He is crying because of what he has already done, and he is preparing you to receive it fully. Keep going, keep listening, don't let anything distract you now. What's about to be revealed is bigger than the pain you went through, bigger than the delay, bigger than the fear. Heaven is finishing what it started, and no legal threat, no enemy plan, no spiritual opposition will take what God has established. Why was this 7-second brain ritual hidden for so long? A leaked CIA document exposed a technique so powerful people are canceling debt and calling in wealth within days. Validated by 4 neuroscience labs, it helps attract money like never before. But this page may not stay online for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it disappears forever. Right now, the spiritual lawyer, the one who has been scheming, watching, calculating, is still trying to argue against your breakthrough. Not with power, but with twisted logic, bringing up every flaw, every delay, every past failure, hoping to convince heaven to revoke what has already been released to you. But it won't work. Because what this adversary fails to understand is that God doesn't bless you based on your perfection, He blesses you based on your position in Him. You are under the blood, you are hidden in grace, you are standing in covenant. And no courtroom, physical or spiritual, can overturn a verdict that was settled in eternity. If you believe God is not finished and the final word belongs to Him, comment 1515 to seal that in faith today. You have not waited in vain. Every season where you felt forgotten, every day where your heart ached with unanswered questions, every moment you kept going even when nothing made sense, God was storing it all. And now, in this divine hour, all of it is being brought together in perfect timing. But the enemy sees it too. That's why the attack has become personal. That's why old wounds suddenly feel fresh. That's why things from your past are being used as evidence. Because the enemy doesn't need a real case, he just needs your agreement. He wants you to believe that what's coming can still be lost. But listen to this carefully. What God has for you is not up for debate. Your blessing is not a temporary reward, it is a divine inheritance. The spiritual lawyer may threaten, accuse, and intimidate, but he cannot override what God has already made final. The cry of God is a loud, unwavering rejection of every voice that says you are not enough. His cry is a seal, a shield, a wall of fire that surrounds you when lies try to break through. There are things happening around you that are trying to mirror past patterns. Emotional traps, relational tensions, strange disappointments, unexpected delays. They are not random. They are strategic distractions. The enemy is trying to stir up confusion just before your clarity arrives. But don't fall for it. Don't answer the enemy's summons. Don't revisit old battles. God is doing a new thing, and your spirit must stay anchored in that truth. You may feel like things are slipping, but in reality, things are shifting. You may feel like you're being shaken, but the shaking is removing every false thing that tried to attach itself to your new season. What looked like loss is actually protection. What felt like a delay is actually God securing the gates. You are not being left behind. You are being hidden, so nothing can touch what God is finishing. The cry of God is calling you deeper, beyond what you've known, beyond the surface of your comfort zone. You are being stretched, not punished. You are being refined, not rejected. This is not the breaking of your faith, it is the building of it. And every second you remain surrendered, every moment you keep walking in obedience, is setting fire to the case the enemy tried to build against you. Let your soul rest in this. God has never lost one of His own. He will not let your blessing be stolen. He will not let your story be rewritten by darkness. You are surrounded by a covenant that cannot be broken. And as loud as the enemy may try to be in this final hour, God's cry will always be louder. There is peace coming, not the kind that makes everything easy, but the kind that makes everything clear. The fog is lifting, the pressure is producing purpose, and even though you've walked through shadows, you are now standing in the beginning of light. Not because the battle has ended, but because the victory has already been declared. What the spiritual lawyer failed to consider is that your case was already tried on the cross. Every accusation was nailed there. Every failure was buried there. Every debt was paid there. You are not waiting to be proven worthy. You are walking in the worth that was already given to you. You are not under threat, you are under grace. Let every part of your heart that's been heavy begin to lift now. You don't have to carry the fear anymore. You don't have to rehearse the pain anymore. The cry of God is not only defending you, it is healing you. It is speaking to the places you hid. It is covering the places that still feel fragile. It is telling every demon in hell, "This child is mine."